Good morning. Welcome to 2025. Last Sunday, we focused on letting go and burning those things that were causing suffering and sorrow that we wanted to release. On this first Sunday of 2025, we look forward to the positives that we can bring to the new year. Let us quiet our minds, our bodies, our spirits, as we give time to consider our intentions for the coming year. One of the core aspects of Unitarian Universalism that inspires me is drawing wisdom from the sources displayed in our plaques and described, for all of those who you may want it, described in a folder we have at the welcome table. The sources help provide a basis for forming our intentions. Included in these are the first two: direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. And the second, words and deeds of prophetic women and men, which challenge us to confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love. As a call to worship, I offer these wise words, but unfortunately I'm not sure who spoke them first or wrote them. I'm not sure of the author. The title is Well. Come to the well. Fill yourselves with cool waters. Give refreshing drinks to all those who ask. Tell them the source is not hidden, and point the way, saying, you too. When empty and dry, return again and again, until you become the well. There is an infinity waiting to express with every breath, every heartbeat. Begin now. Come, let us worship together. Please rise in body and or spirit for our opening hymn, Return Again. Let me get the words up there. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to where you are, return to what you are, born and reborn again. Return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. We now have the lighting of the chalice, the symbol of our faith. If you are online, please light your chalice or the candle in your heart as I light the chalice here in the sanctuary. Then type into the chat where you are lighting. The chalice lighting words are from Alice King. When darkness nears, we light our lamps, shining light around us and among us, illuminating our surroundings and becoming beacons of light for others. When darkness overwhelms us, we look for the light in others. Let the torches they carry light our pathways. May the light of this chalice spark in us a remembrance of the light within us and the light shared with this community and with the world. And now if you would stand again, and we will state our affirmation. Please rise in body and spirit, and join me in saying the affirmation of this church. You'll find it on the screen and on the order of service. It is also inscribed in many of our hearts. We say it in English and in Spanish as a symbol of the many languages spoken in this community and beyond, the many languages of the soul. Love is the doctrine of this church.
We light this candle in recognition of the Tamien and Muwekma Ohlone indigenous peoples, who were the first humans to inhabit and sustain this land thousands of years before the settler colonizers arrived. We honor the resilience of these indigenous people in the face of devastating harm, and we lift up the resilience. We lift up the resilience of their neighboring tribe to the south, the Amamutsan tribal band, with whom we are now working to preserve their sacred land of Eurostak and to ensure that their culture continues to thrive.
Welcome to worship the First Unitarian Church of San Jose, where we are seekers. Wherever you are on your faith and spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Our welcome is broad and inclusive. Here we cherish diversity among us, including gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, and physical ability. This is a safe place to bring your whole self. I am Dena Dickinson. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a 75-year-old woman with gray curly hair, and today I'm wearing a sweater that's tricolored, blue, black, and gray, I think it is, and a blue scarf. I'm one of the team of worship associates, and today I'm acting as the worship leader. I'm pleased to be involved in the service today, as I think living with intention is a key to having a life filled with joy and purpose. In the words of Hafiz, doing good work, there's no room for hesitation. I want to thank all of those who have assisted in putting together the service today. And, excuse me, and thank you for being here today. If you are new or visiting, thank you for becoming part of this community, and whether it's for today alone or for your whole life. After the service, please join us in Hattie Porter Hall through those doors, where there is a welcome table where you can find out information about our church and our faith, and the pastoral care table if you need a listening ear. We'll now say hi to our friends on Zoom, joining us on Zoom. Okay, thank you and welcome. And we'll be reading the story for today. Please join us on the labyrinth, the children and all those who are have agile bodies that want to join us on the labyrinth.
Hello? Hello? Sorry.
Close enough.
Great. I'm sorry I was not able to get the pictures ready. I took them, but they really weren't good. This is, okay, I need to have it closer.
Between your legs?
Okay. Can you hear me now? Great, okay. This is called Just Help, How to Build a Better World by Sonia Sotomayor, illustrated by Angela Dominguez. Can someone tell me who Sonia Sotomayor is? Do you know? Just shout it out. She's a Supreme Court judge, yes. Each day when Sonia woke up, her mother asked her a question. How will you help today? Mommy was a nurse who helped people at a hospital every day. Sonia wanted to help too. So each morning, Sonia set about to have a good answer for Mommy's question. One morning, Sonia knew just how she was going to help that day. She filled 2 shopping bags with candy bars, warm socks, nice soaps, sunglasses, pens, and notepads. When Sonia boarded the school bus, the driver helped her carry the bags up the steps. "What's all this?" she asked Sonia. "We're sending care packages to American soldiers overseas," Sonia said. When Sonia got on the bus, not one seat was free. She did not know what to do. Then Booker and Sky waved to her. "You can sit with us," they said, squeezing together to make room for Sonia. "Thank you," Sonia said. At school, Booker, Sky, and Sonia emptied their bags onto a table in the gym. Many kids had shown up to help. For this service project, the kids sorted and packed the treats in boxes that postal workers would pick up later in the day. Kylie was extra happy to help. Her mom was a soldier in the Army stationed far away. Kylie missed her every day, but it made her smile to think of her mom opening one of the care packages. When she was done, Kylie gathered up plastic shopping bags and gave them to Brooklyn. Brooklyn loved underwater animals. She was upset to learn that plastic bags humans dumped into the oceans made sea turtles sick. When she read about a worldwide campaign to save the sea turtles, Brooklyn joined in to help. She started a recycling program at school just for plastic bags. After the service project in the gym, she had a lot more plastic bags to add to the new recycling bins. After school, Gabriela and her brother Lucas went to the playground. There was trash everywhere. Gabriela thought about the recycling bins. Let's make today a park cleanup day, Gabriela suggested to the other kids. They all agreed to help. Afterwards, Lucas took a piece of chalk and wrote in big letters on the ground, "Keep our park clean. Please do not litter." When Jasper got home, he saw that his room was a mess, just like the park had been. As he cleaned up, he found brand new toys that he had never used. Jasper decided to donate them to the children's hospital. Jasper remembered that when he was a patient there, he always felt better when the nurses brought him to the playroom. He wanted to help kids who were there now. He brought the new toys next door to Maya because her dad worked as a janitor at the hospital, and he could take the toys to the playroom. Jasper's kindness reminded Maya that she had something special to give away too. She picked out her favorite shirt from her clothes drawer. Maya loved it, but she knew someone who would love it more, especially today, her friend Simone. Simone stood on the street corner with her dad and her brother Miles. It was election day, and they were campaigning for their favorite candidate for city council, who promised to build more schools and playgrounds. When Maya gave Simone the shirt, Simone was thrilled. "It's just like a sparkly American flag. Thank you," Simone said, and put it on over the shirt she was already wearing. Simone and Miles were handing out flyers to everyone who passed by, including Samir and his mom. "Mommy, it's election day. Did you vote yet?" Samir said. "No, I forgot," his mom said. "Well, let's go vote," Samir said. "My teacher said, your vote is your voice in the community." Samir wanted his mom to use it. The voting booths were set up in the senior center. As Samir and his mom waited to vote, they saw Kunal pushing John in a wheelchair. Kunal was there to help John vote. John lived alone, and twice a week, Kunal spent the afternoon at the senior center visiting John and sharing snacks. "Promise me when you're 18 you will vote," John said as he stuck his "I voted" sticker on Kunal's shirt. "When I was young, I was part of a great struggle to get the right to vote. Now I never miss the chance." "I promise," Kunal said. Later that evening, Sonia climbed into bed, and her mother asked her, "Sonia, how did you help today?" Sonia thought about the service project for the soldiers, recycling the plastic bags, cleaning up the playground, and voting with Mommy. But she also remembered the bus driver who brought her to school safely, the postal workers who delivered the packages to the soldiers, the poll workers who guided voters, and her friends who helped in big ways and small. "We all helped each other today," Sonia said. As Sonia closed her eyes, she imagined that everything she did was like the yarn in the blanket her grandmother had made for her. It tied Sonia to everyone around her, even people she did not know, each one inspiring the next, knitting together a community that was safer, cleaner, wiser, healthier, and kinder. Like Sonia, her friends, and her neighbors, when we all do our part, we can all have a good answer to Mommy's question: how will you help today?
Sing our children and youth to their classrooms.
morning. My name is Bruce Halen. My pronouns are he and him. I am a white Caucasian male of average height, that would be about 5'9", and average weight, about 165 pounds. And my hair is brown mostly, starting to go silvery brown. My eyes are brown. And I have about a 2-day stubble of salt and pepper beard, most of which is salt at this point. Love is the doctrine of this church. Love will guide us. Make love visible. Did I miss any other references to love with connections to FUCSJ? Please feel free to shout them out if I did. If you think of it, shout it out and remind me. This place has been about love since the first day that I walked up the steps into the front door of this building. The word is love. For me, there are 2 directions that you can go in this life. You can go in the direction of hate, or you can go in the direction of love. As a child, I was required by my parents, my neighbors, and my teachers to go in the direction of love. I didn't have a choice. As an adult, I made a conscious decision to continue in the direction of love. For over 20 years, the vehicle that I have traveled on is 160 North 3rd Street, San Jose, California. That, by chance, is this place right here. Love is hard. Love is kind. Love is cold. Love is warm. Love is compassionate. Love is cruel. Love is fair. Love is unfair. Love is music. Love is war. Love is peace. The definition of love is never ending, constant, current, and historical. Love is sad. Love is happy. Love is. I can't say that I understand all of what love is or all of what hate is, but I do believe that in the end, love wins. 2024 was all in all a pretty good year for me. Good health, plenty of travel, lots of things to write about. Then came the election, and I lumped all of 2024 in with the election results. The election results sucked. So, by association, all of 2024 sucked. Was anyone else disappointed by those election results? Well, I sulked around until about Thanksgiving before taking my own advice on how to deal with disappointment. Do something about it. Get involved. Be around people. Start writing again. So I got back to writing my blog. I immersed myself in the music I was performing for the holidays. I got into the Christmas spirit of giving, sang carols and songs of the season. I listened intently to podcasts, read the paper copy of the San Jose Mercury News, and got the world view of the New York Times through my wife, Meredy, who gets the most credit for making me to at least appear to be literate. And I also kept in touch with my Braver Angels friend, David, who is a young gay man in Georgia, who I developed a relationship through the Braver Angels program, which was very enlightening for me. I credit not one, but 2, what I call epiphany or learning experiences over the past 5 years for helping me negotiate the COVID and Trump era and to feel unabashedly hopeful for the future. The first big learning came after reading Timothy Snyder's booklet on tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century. The learning was that we were reliving the middle of the 20th century all over again. The light bulb went on for me. My lens on the state of things seemed able to cut through all the seemingly unrelated craziness going on and to see it for what it was and to express my feelings about it. We were in the midst of a potential tyrant in the making. That was big, a really big awakening for me. Epiphany, or learning number 2, was when our interim minister, Reverend XK, or Kolani Kachela, inspired me to write down my thoughts about my current goals and objectives for life, which is always a pretty good experience. It was a good exercise. The listing of goals and objectives was great, but for me, it stalled out when I got to the part about good and evil. I wrote as if good and evil were as real as baseball and apple pie. But on further study of religious and philosophical texts and the promptings of a Buddhist friend, I came to a new realization. Good and evil are titles that are assigned to people. People are not good or evil. Rather, like children, good and evil move through us, but are not from us. The real dichotomy was hate and love. The world got a whole lot easier for me to process when that lens got added to my worldview glasses. Throw in a little reading about the ancient teachings of Stoicism and what it can teach about worry, and I'm pretty well within reason, feeling pretty good about the future. FYI, stop by the closing Barnes & Noble on Almaden for a discount for some other discounted gems. I found this one there, so it was good. Love is everywhere in this church. In our conversations, in the songs, in our mission statement, in our affirmation that we read to each other every Sunday. That is why I keep coming back here. So back to the message, why love wins. Several months ago, the marvelous musicians of our own Guitars Aloud group needed substitute vocals for a song that they were performing for a service here. And the title of the song was, anybody? Love Wins. The song inspired me to have a banner made with that message on it. And it gave my life a theme and a theme song, which I use almost every day. And I have to do, one thing that it did is it inspired me to get on and have a banner made with the help of Merity's ex-husband, who's a designer. Gave me some tips on how to do this, so this is what I came up with. Which, by the way, is available for any functions that might find this message appropriate. So it continues to fuel my optimism for the coming year and for the years to come. That optimism is born from my two personal epiphanies and, of course, this church community. And in case you missed that Guitars Aloud performance of the song, here it will be performed by Mel Washington and Wyatt Durrett via the wonders of YouTube. There will be a little bit of a pause as I read some lines from before the song starts, thanks to our incredible tech team doing some work up there that's above and beyond the call. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always.
Post a slide with the URL for donating through the website and the church's address if you would like to send a check. You can also simply go to the website, sanjoseuu.org, and click on Donate in the top right corner of the homepage. On the screen, look for the pull-down menu to designate whether this is a general donation, a payment toward pledge, or monthly special collection, or something else. Please give what you can, and remember, if your presence among us is all that you can give today, that is enough. Thank you very much.
My name is Anne Janine Rosenzweig. I'm a 74-year-old Caucasian heterosexual married woman who uses she, her, hers pronouns. I have gray hair, I need reading glasses to read, and the top that I'm wearing is from Tibet, but I actually bought it from a Chinese shopkeeper on Rue Monge near our Paris family apartment. I have been an ally in the LGBTQIA alphabet since my involvement 25 years ago in the case of Flores et al. Versus the Morgan Hill Unified School District, a case which established in federal court that school faculty, administrators, and staff could be found personally liable for discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans students, or those perceived to be LGBT. I was born in Boston to parents who were both postdoc social science researchers at Harvard-Radcliffe. On paper, my parents were an unlikely couple. My mother, Janine Suzanne André Chapin Rosenzweig, came from a French Roman Catholic family of entrepreneurs. Her father and mother were the son and daughter of business partners who owned and operated a cloth dyeing factory in a suburb of Paris. By the time my parents met in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1947, my mother had received degrees in English literature from the Sorbonne and St. Hugh's College, Oxford, and obtained her PhD in education from Harvard-Radcliffe with a thesis entitled Race Prejudice in American Preschools. She had also spent 2 years doing cross-cultural anthropological fieldwork near Rema, New Mexico, with the children of Navajo, Mexican Americans, and Mormons, while living in a hogan with the family of her Navajo interpreter, Dave Skeets. My father, Mark Richard Rosenzweig, was born and raised in a family of Reformed Jews in Rochester, New York. His parents were both born in upstate New York, but their parents and his mother's older siblings were Ashkenazi Jews from the Pale of Settlement, from Shtetl near Vilnius, Lithuania on his father's side, and from Shtetl near Voronezh, Russia, close to the border with Ukraine, via Vienna on his mother's side. My paternal great-grandfathers left for America in the early 1880s, partly for economic reasons, but also to avoid conscription in the Tsar's army, which usually was a lifetime obligation for Jewish men at that time. It is actually a source of pride to me that my ancestors said no to tyranny that long ago. I had an unusual childhood. When I was 11 months old, my mother and I traveled to Paris by boat and train to meet her family and to celebrate my first birthday. I am told I took my first steps in Parc-Monceau, near where my grandmother then lived. Dad joined us in Paris after he finished his teaching assistant duties, and we returned to Cambridge, Massachusetts by boat. A couple of months later, we crossed the country in a green Plymouth station wagon when we moved to Berkeley for Dad to begin teaching neuropsychology at UC Berkeley, where he taught his entire career except for sabbaticals when he taught at the Sorbonne, my mother's alma mater. My parents chose to raise me and my younger sister and brother in a bilingual, bicultural home so we could be equally able to converse with both our grandmothers, aunts, and cousins who did not speak each other's languages. We lived most of the time in Berkeley, where we spoke French at dinner every night, a wonderful exercise to share the day's news. I am deeply appreciative of the effort my parents made to raise us bilingual and bicultural. Many of you know that I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a degenerative brain disease, in February of 2021. My mother had Alzheimer's the last 10 years of her life, but I do not know of any relatives with Parkinson's. My illness may have been caused by exposure to pesticides due to my work as an organizer with the United Farm Workers in the Salinas Valley, and later my work as an attorney for the State Labor Commissioner representing farm worker wage claimants working in both the Salinas Valley and San Joaquin Valley. I have led a very active life. My husband is an elite cyclist who at 75 climbed Mount Hamilton both on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Most of our vacations were cycling vacations. We have climbed several of the best-known Tour de France climbs, like Alpe d'Huez, Mont Ventoux, and Col du Tourmalet in the Pyrenees. We've also climbed Haleakala and mountain biked across Baja from Loreto on the Sea of Cortez to Lopez Mateo on the Pacific, where we rented a panga to view the gray whales cavorting with their calves in the lagoon that serves as a whale nursery. Having a movement disorder and no longer being able to join Jim on these rides has been hard on both of us. I fell into a deep depression, mourning our active life. I cut off all contact with friends, communicating only with Jim, my siblings, and their children and grandchildren. Different cultures have different customs about mourning. Jews sit Shiva for 10 days, but many cultures have much longer periods. I remember Sundar mentioning that his family did not celebrate Diwali this year because his mother had died in the past year. Similarly, at least when I was little, the French had a very long period of mourning. When we lived in Paris when I was 5, there was a pompe funèbre, a funeral home, across the street from our apartment. The front of the building would be draped completely in black whenever there was a funeral. If a man died, his widow was expected to wear black for a year, and other family members would wear black armbands to show they were in mourning. Although I did not consciously set out to do so, in retrospect, I believe I withdrew in a way of mourning my past active life. Throughout this time, I received cards every few weeks from First Unitarian's pastoral associates. Although I did not respond, please know that your caring words were deeply appreciated. I have kept all of the cards. I am adjusting to life at a much slower pace than the speedy overdrive at which I have lived most of my life. There is much beauty to be found living mindfully, savoring each moment, what each moment can bring. My husband, Jim, found a wonderful recumbent exercycle, which he set up in the backyard. Most mornings I go outdoors and spend a half hour or so spinning and communing with nature. It's a wonderful way to start the day. Dena talked earlier about setting intentions, and I really believe in that. Rather than making resolutions, I like to set intentions. And I want to credit a friend, Margot Hinnenkamp, with sharing a practice that she has. And that's to make a box, you decorate it any way you want. And what we did was look at all sorts of magazines and cut up things that would remind us of things we like to do. I love the ocean, so there's a starfish. I love to dance, just a variety of things. And you can have it and look at it and know that's your intention for how you want to live your life. And I'd be happy to do a workshop making these if people would like to do that.
Thank you, Anne. We're going to do another round of Return Again. So please stand as you are able and body or spirit. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. We're going to now do responsive reading. It's in your hymnal and number 544 in the back of your hymnal, or I think, yes, there are words on the screen. I'll read the regular type, and you all will read the italicized type. This is a writing of Kathleen Mateague. The 1st of January is another day dawning, the sun rising as the sun always rises, the earth moving in its rhythms. So it is. Everything is the same, bound into history as we ourselves are bound. Yet also we stand at the threshold, the new year, something truly new, still unformed, leaving something power in our hands. What shall we do with this great gift of time this year? Let us begin by remembering that whatever justice, whatever peace and wholeness might bloom in our world this year. We are the hearts and minds, the hands and feet, the embodiment of all visions of our people. The new year can be new ground for seeds of our dreams. Let us take the step forward together onto new ground, planting our dreams well, faithfully and in joy. I have come to the realization that my intention for the new year and every year is simply to live with intention. By this, I mean I want to live with mindfulness about how my thoughts, actions, and words can either be positive or negative, and choose to be positive. A tenet of Buddhism is that we define our reality by our mind, and we have the ability to use our thoughts to create a more positive life for ourselves and others. My trainer at the gym offers words of wisdom as well, and framed as encouragement. She says, tension becomes intention. Tension becomes intention. Although sometimes it's difficult to break through the tension, I am always benefited by the intention. Hafiz wrote, life's conditions constantly vary. Do not despair. Try, otherwise on this path, you'll get nowhere. These words remind me that it is not always easy to stay on the path of living with intention, but I must keep trying, or else I'll get nowhere. I want to choose to live with mindfulness and choose to be a positive energy in this world. If I don't try, I'll get nowhere. If I don't feel the tension, I won't strengthen my intentions. I've also taken to wearing my reminders. In addition to the chalice and the bodhisattva that I wear as necklaces, I've gotten into wearing bracelets a lot. So currently, I've got a lotus, reminding me to keep the peace. I also just recently got this one, which has a copper thing on it that says, every day grateful. There's also a small one that was made by a very interesting young woman that I got when I was in Denver recently. And she's from Hawaii, and created this with some of the stones are Hawaiian, but she created it as kind of a meditation bracelet. There's little beads, and you can say your mantra or your mindfulness or your gratefulness or with each bead. And I do find myself doing that at times, of just using the beads to keep those things in my mind. I also recently bought socks that say on the bottom of them, peace is every step, the Thich Nhat Hanh saying on the bottom of the socks. And you might think that that might be taking it a step too far, so to speak. Last week we had a meditation on letting go. Today we'll have a short meditation on intentions. I want to begin the meditation on intentions for the new year with a reading from Rumi. Unfold your own myth. But don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth without complicated explanations, so everyone will understand the passage, we have opened you. Start walking toward Shams. Your legs will get heavy and feel tired. Then comes a moment of feeling the wings you've grown lifting. Now, please prepare yourself for a few moments of meditation, feet on the floor, laps free of stuff, and follow the bell sound into silence. Take a few slow, deep breaths, being aware of your breathing in and out. Breathe in peace. Breathe out release. Breathe in peace. Breathe out release. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let your breath take you to your center, your heart space. Breathe in. Breathe out. From your heart space, allow love to guide you to your intentions for 2025. Not a resolution that creates stress, but your intention for how you want to be, how you will live your love in the coming year. Breathe in love for self. Breathe out love for others. Breathe in love for self. Breathe out love for others. What arises for you as your intention for the new year? Embrace it. Be it. Let it settle into your heart and spirit. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. As I ring us out of meditation, bring a smile to your face and your soul. Smile into the new year ahead. I'd like to, I actually had taken this out of the order of service because I wasn't sure if we are going to have time, but I set up for it just in case we did, and we do. So I'd like to offer you an opportunity. I find the right piece of paper. From a poem by Amanda Gorman, The Miracle of Morning. This is the final verse of her poem. We'll observe how the burdens braved by humankind are also the moments that make us humans kind. Let every dawn find us courageous, brought closer, heeding the light before the fight is over. When this ends, we'll smile sweetly, finally seen in testing times, we became the best of beings. As you go out into your day and into the new year, ring peace and intention into your life. Find stillness, become the best of beings, live your intention. Go in peace, be makers of peace. Amen. Namaste.